This is going to be a home lab tour. I have never done one of these before. I have in my office two desks. The one on the right is my primary where I work, and on the left, this is my home lab. Some of the things that I use this desk for is, you see the PlayStation right there, all of my networking gears right here. I charge my PlayStation controllers. I have a couple of machines that we're going to get to, and then a bunch of power cords to get everything connected. All right, so we're just going to go left to right. Well, we're going to start up on this wall. This is all of the extra stuff, any cables, breadboard projects that I started that I never finished. I got some extra mounting points, some Raspberry Pi Picos, and just like extra stuff that I would probably need for my home lab in the future. First is my router that gives internet to everything. Then right behind it, you'll see this Satechi power. This thing has a lot of USB-Cs, and essentially what I use this for is a power hub. So anyone in the house, if they're looking for an Apple Watch charger, a USB-C, micro USB, Lightning, Shocks earbuds, like every charger is right here. So no one in the house has to worry if I have a cable for something or not. They can just drop their stuff in here and charge. Moving up, there's a PlayStation 5, and then you'll see another router right here. Now, what that router is used for is it's a sub-network after my main network, and any home solution like my security system, my vacuum cleaners, 8 sleep mattress, any of those things that are connected to the Wi-Fi but are not one of my personal devices, all of them go right here. So if there's some sort of like network vulnerability or like anyone snooping into my network, I have them separated out so they only see that part of the network and nothing else. And on here you'll see these are all of the machines that I have. And we can go top to bottom. At the top, you'll see some Raspberry Pis. These are all Raspberry Pi 5s. Now, the RAM configuration differs. It goes anywhere from 4 gigs and 8 gigs. I think I have 2 of the 8 gigs and 2 of the 4 gigs. So the three at the bottom, all of these are in a Kubernetes cluster. This is my production Kubernetes cluster. It does a bunch of stuff from like fetching data from the internet and a few of the other personal projects that I have running. All of them run on this Kubernetes network. And the one on the top, I use it as a development Kubernetes pod because I do all of my testing. If there's an application I want to deploy, anything that's like new, I'm going through a Kubernetes book. I'm trying to learn Kubernetes so I can break anything I want on the first one. And then once I learn it and I'm ready to not break production, then I can deploy it on the actual Kubernetes cluster. Below that, you'll see a very cheap but works really well, a network switch from Netgear. It cost me like $19, $20, and it works really well. When I bought it, I didn't think I was going to use all 8 ports, but I have filled it up pretty quick. So some upgrades to the networking switch are coming up pretty soon. Below that, as we move in, you'll see these 2 mini PCs. The first one is the HP. It has a i5 6th generation or 7th generation. It's a Proxmox server. I do all of my development and testing. I always have one machine that's kind of like a duplicate of the other one where I do all of my testing, and if I need to break something, I can. So currently I'm trying to deploy some database stuff like Supabase. It's open source. I'm trying to deploy on it, test it, see if that can fit my workflow, and for my future projects, if I can use that as like a primary database source. Running Coolifi, it's an alternative to Vercel where I host all of my websites. So just testing stuff out and seeing if that's a good solution for me. And at the bottom, you'll see the Dell mini PC, and I believe it's also an i5 4th generation, so it's kind of old, but I paid only $50 for it, which is kind of a really good deal. 500 gigs of storage. The primary thing it runs is Pi-hole. So on my network, I have Pi-hole running. If you're not familiar with Pi-hole, it's essentially a DNS service where on your network, if there's ads, if there's website that you want to block, and if there's like those pesky trackers on your network, you can essentially block all of them. Fun fact, on this dashboard that you see right now, about 25% of my home network traffic is all just trackers and ads. And it's kind of ridiculous that 25% of my networking is just that. So that's the Dell machine. And then here you'll see, this is the Nvidia Jetson Orion Nano. I found this really recently. It's so hard to find these, but there's a bunch of machine learning projects that I constantly run. I'm testing new code. I'm going through books to run machine learning models. And because even today, Nvidia just has the best software support. So using CUDA, which is their software tool where all the machine learning models and really well supported. So I bought this board. Any model I build, I test on here. And as my needs will grow, I can go from this to to a fully fledged Nvidia server. I can get a 4090 or 5090 and essentially just run all of that same code on there and it will work perfectly. Oh, and I didn't mention about this. It's just a USB drive, so any new device I get, I can flash a new operating system on them. And then I have these keyboard and mouse. This was the cheapest one I could get. It was $20, and any new machine that I boot into or I need to debug, I have this display cable right here, and it's connected to my primary desk, my first main monitor. And on there, I can connect to any machine and take this mouse and keyboard to my main desk and pretty easily just run code on the desk that I normally work on. So it makes the process really convenient. And then I also have this Raspberry Pi Model 2. This is really old, and essentially anything that's about home labbing kind of started with this device. I got it from a friend. We've been talking about it for a little bit, and he was building a lot of projects on it. I've watched a lot of home labbing videos before, and this was a good device for me to get into, learn how to get into these kind of machines from another computer. What kind of stuff do you install on it? What is Linux? All of that essentially this machine started it off for me. And still works. It still works really well, but it's just very slow compared to all the other machines. I'm planning on maybe running some sort of firewalling. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to run on here, but it's just a very slow and low power device. And then not a lot left. Just PlayStation controllers, always charging. Grab it from here. PlayStation sits right here. It's also connected to the monitor when I'm playing games. And then last but not least, 2 power strips. And this is just a lot of power being drawn from just a single port. Any of you who's worried about drawing too much power and worried about me tripping the fuse, don't worry, it's definitely way below 1,000 watts that it may ever draw. These machines right here, the Jetson draws at max 65 watts. Each one of these Raspberry Pis at max will ever draw 27. And from what I have been running on these, none of them draw like more than 12 watts at any point in time. The biggest thing that draws power is the PlayStation, but I'm guessing it's around like 200 watts. I haven't looked into it, so nothing ever adds up to over 1,000. And yes, the charging stuff too, but I'm charging my headphones or my Apple Watch, so I'm not really that worried. So yeah, that's essentially my home lab. There's not a lot of crazy stuff. I have not bought a server rack. It's just a thing to just keep all of these devices organized, and I think I've done a pretty good job organizing them. All right, so this was my home lab. Please let me know what I did not cover in this video, and I would love to cover that in the next video. Till then, keep home labbing.